The Toastmasters educational experience. Is that what you're here to hear about? Have you experienced it already? The weather in Cork is fine today, and there's no topic that I would enjoy more to talk about today than the educational experience in Toastmasters. Education in Toastmasters is built on top of the friendship, the camaraderie, the support, and the love that you experience when you join a Toastmasters meeting. What was your first Toastmasters experience like? How was it for you? The first experience I had in Toastmasters was the experience of a surprisingly strong warmth, of being taken aback by the connections between people who were there, members, visitors, during the tea and coffee break, and biscuits too. And the relief and the joy that I had when I found that I felt the kindness and support coming from people that I'd never met before. This was the first experience, that experience, emotional experience of feeling, oh, thank goodness, it isn't as bad as I thought it would be, or it isn't as strange. It even reminded me of one or two wonderful places I'd been in my life where other people had been kind and considerate and loving to each other. The first reaction a newcomer has when they come to a Toastmasters meeting is, oh, this is nice. I like the way these people interact with each other. I'm curious, and I might be in good company here. Isn't that what it's like? Doesn't that remind you of your first experience? Thank you, Pauline. I can see Derek nodding. That's wonderful. You see, in Toastmasters, all education is built on a foundation. It's built on top of friendship and enjoyment. Everything else is built on friendship and enjoyment. The founder, Ralph C. Smedley, said that Toastmasters is an educational organization. He wrote the first education program for Toastmasters in 1942. But in the beginning, in 1904 and in 1924, there was no education program. What there was a group of people who had been gathered together to support others, young men, to help young men get ahead in life. No education program. What there was, though, was the most fundamental characteristic of all Toastmasters from the very beginning, and it was learning by doing. You did something and you learned by doing it. You learned to become more confident. It was a bit like a rider gets up on top of a horse. They learn to ride by riding. You can't learn to ride by sitting in a schoolroom. You learn by doing. I learn by doing. Right from the beginning, as a child and as a youth and as an adult, we learn by doing. We learn by falling down, having another go, falling down, having another go. How many times does an infant fall down before the infant is able to stand on its own 2 feet? That's what it's like in Toastmasters. The whole experience, learning by doing, is built around the experience of falling and getting back up and carrying on. There are additional things in Toastmasters. Yes, there is the evaluation that you're given at a meeting. There is the one-to-one conversation with your evaluator after the meeting, where some extra things might be communicated to you, which would help you. There's even the experience of having a chat with your mentor about how you have got on while you have been falling. And there's also the experience sometimes, like here today, where there'll be a recording for you to look at. Above all, the most important feedback you're ever going to get at Toastmasters is feedback you give yourself. Remember that feedback when you've done something in Toastmasters or anywhere else for that matter, where it said, whoopee, that was fabulous. Oh my goodness, I'm ever so glad I did that. Remember the feedback you gave yourself, which was, oh God, get me out of here. That was awful. I was dreadful. Oh, yuck. I'm never, ever going to be a grammarian again. Oh no, I'm never going to be an area director ever again. And the last thing I ever want to do is to be a sergeant at arms again. Or else, oh, that was superb. Oh, I'm so glad my mother was here. I'm so glad my next door neighbor was here. I'm so glad there were so many people in the audience because I really gave a great account of myself. Those are the messages that matter most, aren't they? Those are the ones that really and truly hold you and hold you together. What to do? Listen to everybody. Have another go at falling down and standing up. We have recently, in the last few days, experienced going live for the first time a brand new version of the Toastmasters education program. A program which has expanded opportunities for people to fall down. Expanded opportunities for people to give themselves all sorts of feedback. Expanded opportunities to play roles at each level, and your vice president of education in your club will no doubt be introducing you to all the details of what has changed in Pathways. Today is not the time for me to want you to remember details, but it's more to do with the opportunities, the new opportunities to fall. Some people call it failing. Opportunities to play roles and opportunities to give different types of presentations, ones that might be a little bit more like the type of presentations you give at work. Presentation about the club, presentation about education, presentation about leadership, all of these kind of additional opportunities. And we will all fall down on the way forward. The vice president for education will struggle with, how do I keep track of all this? The individual member will be saying, oh my goodness, did I do this? Did I do this? Where did I, all these kind of records. People will be saying, how can I fit a 10 to 15 minute presentation into an ordinary club meeting? Yes, we will all fall. And we will say, never again, never again. But that's what learning by doing is. You do it, you do your best, and you learn, and you get feedback from within your own heart, within your own body, and you get feedback from Derek, from Siobhan, from Pat, from Pauline, from Timothy, and even from Salome. Absolutely phenomenal. You get all sorts of voices coming at you, and you will have the life fulfilling and life challenge of, whose voice will I listen to? Whose voice will I listen to? Will I listen to my own voice that tells me I screwed it up? Will I listen to another person's voice who says, tell me more about how you really did screw it up? Give me the details. And then you discover that actually you can't quite remember what the worst thing you did was. Oh yes, there are all sorts of people who will be coming at you. And remember this, when Ralph C. Smedley set up Toastmasters first go at something that became Toastmasters in 1904, no education program at all. Just a number one wish. A number one wish to support people so that they'd have a better experience in life. Now, 2-minute warning just came on. I have fallen. I have fallen. You see, once again, I have made an assumption that I would get a signal when it would be 10 minutes. My friends, that is life. You go away from the meeting and you say to yourself, oh my goodness, I didn't leave time for questions and answers. We're all going to be whipped out of the room. I'm never going to do this again, or else. That was a good experience. I've learned something. I'd love to do this again. Just to see Marie's face and the smiles and the gestures of encouragement that she's giving me. I don't mind about anybody else. That made the world of a difference to me, Marie, and I'm being genuine about this now, I have to say. But there we are. Now, look, we're going into this new era of the enhanced pathways. We will fall. I fell today. Whose voice will we listen to? The voice that says, never again, I'm leaving pathways. This is a step too far, or else. Oh, thank goodness. Another challenge, another opportunity to fall down and pick myself up and stand tall. Toastmasters.
Thanks, Paul.
11 seconds. Terrific. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Cheers. Thanks very much.